The Poweshiek skipperling is an endangered butterfly that only lives in the tallgrass prairie in North America. The primary cause of decline of this species in Manitoba and several states is habitat loss, and it only remains in several tallgrass prairie remnants in Manitoba and prairie fens in Michigan. The factors regulating the adult and caterpillar survival of this butterfly where it remains are not well understood, and to successfully protect and manage the remaining individuals in Canada and the United States, we need to learn a little bit more about their biology. So the Poweshiek skipperling caterpillars only live in small areas called microhabitats. These areas contain certain host plants and have certain structures that are optimal for their survival. The locations of microhabitats and the food plants that make them unique are of special interest in Manitoba. I researched the adult movement and caterpillar activities of the Poweshiek skipperling in Manitoba to help make future reintroduction for the long-term survival of this species successful in Canada and the United States. So food host plants that grow at different times of the year are eaten by the Poweshiek skipperling. So the food plants that grow in the summer when the temperatures are warmer prefer the drier soil conditions, and the food plants that grow in the spring and the fall when it's cooler prefer wet soil conditions. So I compared the host plants along a moisture gradient to find where the caterpillars could live. So I put the half-meter quadrats in the prairie, and I counted the food host plants in the areas in dry to wet areas, and I compared the food plants in these spots. The areas with intermediate soil moisture contain the abundance and diversity of food plants that are preferred by the Poweshiek skipperling caterpillars at different times of the year. Next, I watched the adult female Poweshiek lay eggs to find where the caterpillars could live in the field. I walked behind the female Poweshiek skipperling and counted the food plants where they laid eggs before comparing the available food in these areas to that in dry to wet areas. So the areas with medium amounts of soil moisture contain the abundance and the diversity of host plants that the caterpillars likely need to survive at different times of the year. Finally, I observed the caterpillars in microhabitats to find what food plants they actually do eat. So I enclosed these caterpillars in the areas where the females laid eggs using plastic bins, and I watched them find and eat food. So the caterpillars searched within these microhabitats to find food plants to eat that grow at different times of the year and prefer to grow in the wet and the dry areas. So this is the first time this ecology, this caterpillar has been observed anywhere in its range, and they live in these areas so that they have a good chance of finding food throughout their whole development. So this research will help to manage the remaining populations of Poweshiek and to reintroduce them into new areas. And also this research has helped to contribute to international efforts to protect this species from extinction. Thanks.